Well, as we sit down today, it is June 2nd, 2025. My name is Doug Vaughn, and we're talking with Jim Waldron. Jim, how are you?
Fine.
I see you're 75 years old.
That's correct.
Yeah, you look like you're in great shape and in good health.
Looks aren't everything.
That's not true.
Nah, I'm doing okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? You've had a long, productive, fun life, no doubt, huh?
Yeah.
Tell me where it began. Where were you born?
East St. Louis, Illinois.
Yeah? And what were your parents doing there? What did your dad do?
Well, my father was an electrician. He worked for Treese Neon Sign Company in East St. Louis. Mom was a stay-at-home mom because we had 9 children.
Yeah, that's a house full. And where were you in the 9?
Number 2. I have one older sister.
Yeah. So you probably had to take care of a lot of younger brothers and sisters along the way, huh?
Yeah. I guess I brought them up right. I don't know.
So what was your parents like? Tell me about your father. What was he like?
My father, he was an ex-Marine, a very strict father, but he's a good man, real good man.
Yeah. Ex-Marine, had he been in World War II, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah? He tell you anything about his service there?
No, he never would talk about it. He didn't want to. He never said anything about what he did. He was in the Solomon Islands, is all I know. He was on a battleship, the Massachusetts, and he never talked about it. He really didn't.
Yeah. So many of that generation didn't say a word. I don't know if they were told by the government not to tell people what they did.
Well, I don't know if it was that or they just didn't want to remember the bad things.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably true. But he was strict as a father?
Oh, yeah. We were scared to death of him.
Well, why was that? What would he do if you crossed him or got in trouble?
Well, he'd straighten you out. He never hit us, and they never hit us, but we just were, I don't know, we never crossed him.
Yeah. He didn't need to hit you. You were scared enough as it was?
We didn't need to test him.
Because he had been tested already
Yes.
in the war.
Yes.
If he could get through that, he could get through a house with 9 kids.
That's right.
Did you ever get in trouble as a kid?
No, not a whole lot.
So you didn't have to test him much.
Pardon me?
So you didn't test him very much.
No, I knew better.
And how about your mother? What was she like?
Mom, she was a sweetheart. She worked hard every day. I mean, 9 kids, you're doing laundry every day, and it was tough for her. She hung in there.
Was she pretty strict too, or she was
No.
the soft one?
No, she wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
And your grandparents, did you ever spend a lot of time with them?
Not a whole lot. My grandmother, my mom's mother, I did. I used to go up and cut her grass for her and do things like that. Grandpa had a stroke. He couldn't get around real good, so we weren't real close to him, you know.
So what kind of things did you do as a kid in East St. Louis?
Mostly sports.
50s, yeah?
Whatever sport was in season, that's what we would do.
Yeah.
You know.
As a little kid, even?
Uh-huh.
Yeah? You're a pretty good athlete?
Okay. I never got recruited for anything.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But you were playing them?
Yes.
Yeah.
We always had a sandlot game somewhere. You know, there was a lot of kids in the neighborhood. You got to know everybody, and we all hung out together. And it was a good neighborhood. It really was.
Mm-hmm. You remember any of your earliest childhood memories when you were really young?
I'm sorry, what?
You remember any of your earliest childhood memories, like when you were really young, 4 or 5 years old?
That's a tough one. No, not really.
What was school like? You remember that?
School was
kindergarten,
great.
first grade? Were you excited to be there?
Yeah.
You enjoyed school?
Yeah, school was good.
Yeah.
I went 4 years at St. Elizabeth's in East St. Louis, and then we moved out to 73rd Street to St. Philip's Parish and did 4 years there. Played sports in grade school. It was organized sports was fun then. It really was.
Yeah. That's kind of what everybody did back then. Probably didn't stay at home and watch a lot of TV back then, if you even have a TV.
Well, the TV only had like a 13-inch screen, so it was kind of hard to see.
Yeah, to get the whole family around that wouldn't have worked, would it?
Yeah, with rabbit ears with tinfoil on them.
Remember when color TV became a big thing?
Yeah.
I'm sure when you were just a kid, it was all black and white, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't think anything of it, though, right? We didn't think much of it, just happy to have it.
Right. It was entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
So what were your brothers and sisters like? Tell me about some of them.
Well, half of them were good and half of them were not. I have 5 sisters that were no good and 3 brothers that were just okay.
Oh, now what did the sisters do to bug you?
No, I'm joking. They were fine. They were all good girls.
Yeah. Everybody get along all the time with that many in the house?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
Could you appreciate how hard your parents had to work to make that work, a family of that size?
Not till I got old enough to realize it.
Yeah.
You know, you look back and you think, wow, how could they do that? I don't know how they paid the grocery bill.
Yeah.
9 kids.
Yeah. Boy, you'd have to make $1 million a year to support 9 kids today, wouldn't you?
Yes.
I guess back then you could get by on one salary, one parent working, and one.
They must have, because of the price of groceries. Could you imagine going to a grocery store now and shopping for 9 children? Ooh.
Yeah, it'd be $1,000 every time you went in there.
Sure it would.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Did you have to help a lot at home? Help out a lot, chores and things like that?
Not a whole lot. Didn't have to do that much.
Yeah.
Mom pretty well took care of everything.
Wow, she must have been quite a woman.
Yes, she was. Always on the move.
Well, what kind of hopes and dreams did you have as a kid? What did you want to grow up and become? Did you want to be a ball player or something, or what were you thinking?
Well, I don't know. Never really thought about it. You know, growing up, playing sports, of course you think about, you know, could I play in the big leagues? But it wasn't going to happen. I wasn't good enough for that. You know, look back, think, well, at one point I wanted to be a fireman, a firefighter. But that's, every little kid wants to do that, you know.
Yeah. That would have been pretty dangerous work.
Yes. Especially in those days, they didn't have the equipment that is available now for firefighters. You know, they're something else.
Yeah. So I guess you really kind of grew up in the 50s there, right? In most of the 1950s, you were a kid and kind of.
I was born in '50, so
yeah.
The '60s were fun. We had a good time. There was always something going on in the neighborhood, you know. You would take turns spending the night at your buddy's house, and he'd spend the night at your house, and it was a nicer time. It really was.
Yeah.
We didn't lock our doors ever.
Yeah, even in East St. Louis.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't have to.
Your parents didn't worry about you walking or riding your bike wherever you
No, you go out and play. When the street lights went out, you come home.
Mm-hmm. And they probably didn't even ask you where you were.
No,
As long
didn't
as you
care.
were back, it was okay.
Yep, that's right. As long as you were safe.
Huh. And you didn't get in any trouble at all as a kid, or no?
Not really. No. I mean, as a small child?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't remember doing anything really bad.
Yeah. So then you went to high school. Did I see at Assumption High School?
Uh-huh.
And what was that experience like? Did you enjoy
It was good. That was a good school. It really was. They had a good sports program. A lot of good friends, you know. I still have a lot of friends that I went to high school with, that I hang around with, you know, that I still see. It's really awesome.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
My brother-in-law, Bob, we met probably sophomore year of high school. He married my sister, and we've been close ever since. He's just like a brother to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's always there. If you call up Bob and ask him for a favor, he doesn't say what do you want. He says yes.
That's nice to have somebody like that in your life, isn't it?
It's awesome. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Really is.
So as you're going through high school, what were you thinking was going to be your next step? Were you thinking college or getting a job right away or what?
No, we weren't going to college. Dad said when you get out of high school, get a job. At that time, you could get a job any day in East St. Louis. I mean, there was just employment everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was easy to get a job. We didn't have money to go to college.
Yeah.
Just wasn't in the budget, you know.
What kind of jobs did you have as a kid? Did you take a part-time job somewhere?
Well, in 8th grade, I worked at a rental center in East St. Louis. A friend of ours owned a business, and I would just go up there and clean equipment for him, help people load up their lawnmowers or whatever they were renting, and worked 54 hours a week. I made $20. That's not funny.
Sorry to laugh, but minimum wage back then was what, $1.50 or
Probably,
$2?
yeah, probably $1.50. I didn't make
Yeah.
no minimum wage. That wasn't
Yeah.
going to happen. And then after high school, I got a job in a steel company in Madison, Laclede Steel in Madison. And I worked there for a year, and I got drafted into the Army in '69.
Oh, yeah? Were you dreading that, getting drafted? Had to be kind of scary.
No, not really. Actually got lucky. My brother-in-law, Bob, got drafted the same day, and two other good friends, we all went in together. So it made it easier, you know.
How do you find out that you got drafted? They call, you get a letter, or what?
They send you a letter. It says, "Greetings from the President of the United States. Uncle Sam wants you."
Fun.
Yeah.
And what was it like reading that letter? You just
It was
dreaded?
scary.
Your heart sink, or what?
It was scary. You know, you're a 19-year-old kid. You don't know anything. You think you know everything, but you don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
We decided that we all went in together. We would go to Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri for basic training. Didn't happen. We went to the reception station in St. Louis. They put us on a plane and took us to California. Then we knew we were in trouble.
Yeah, a lot closer to Vietnam in California.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what did your parents say when they find out you got drafted? And your brothers and sisters, everybody upset by that?
Well, Dad was all for it. Like I said, he was an ex-Marine, and military was a big part of his life. You know, he once a Marine, always a Marine. He was happy that I went in.
Mm-hmm. So you went and filled out the paperwork in St. Louis, and then they immediately shipped you to California? Is that how it worked?
That day, yeah.
That very day?
That day. We had no idea that was going to happen.
You didn't get the chance to pack up or anything?
Nope.
So just with whatever you had on your
Whatever you had with you was all you get.
Wow. And so then you land in California. Where exactly?
Landed in San Francisco and then drove down to Fort Ord. Fort Ord was a big training center back then. Mm-hmm. Most of the recruits went there. It's gone now. It's been sold and broken up for property. It's no longer there. It was a big fort.
Yeah. So what was that first day like? What do you do when you first show up?
Scared the hell out of me.
I bet it did.
I mean, they're yelling at you from day one. You know, it's training, I guess you would say. It was scary. It really was.
As soon as you get off the bus there, they start screaming at you?
Oh, yeah. And that lasted for 16 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of things did you have to do in training?
Mostly physical training, rifle training, you know, just... They do send you to a lot of classes, you know, for different subjects. Some of it was interesting, some of it was difficult. We would run in full packs, and you're in California, you're running in sand. It wasn't easy.
Oh, I bet.
But you're 19, you can take it.
Yeah.
You know.
Probably in pretty good shape at that point, too, weren't you? Physically.
When you come out of there, you're in really good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're yelling at you the whole time?
Oh, yeah.
You got a drill sergeant yelling at you?
Drill sergeant that would scare the hell out of you. Big muscle-bound man. That you listen to him.
Did he say some mean things to you?
Yes, he did. If you were screwing up, he would let you know.
You remember some of the things he'd call you? Some of the names that he called you?
Maggot. They used to always call you maggots. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It was the big thing.
That hurt your feelings at all?
Nah, didn't bother me. We'd just laugh at him.
Yeah. So how did you get through that? Do you just know that you have to, or with the other guys there help you get through it?
They force you through it, but it was nice having three good friends that went through it together. You know, it made it much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing people in your platoon, it was just made it a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah. So how long were you in training, you said?
16 weeks to 8 weeks of basic training, and then they send you to advanced infantry training. That's another 8 weeks. We went in August of '69, came home for Christmas, and then got shipped overseas.
Yeah, the war was really raging at that point, wasn't it?
Yes. I got lucky. I went to South Korea. I was in an infantry recon platoon on the DMZ in South Korea. Was better than going to Vietnam, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So that was just to make sure that the war didn't escalate up there? Or what was the purpose of being in Korea?
Well, our job was to look for infiltrators, people that were trying to come from the north to the south or south to north. The DMZ is 2 miles wide, and we would walk patrols, you know, just make sure nobody was crossing. That was a big thing.
Yeah. Did you see any hairy action, or was it
No,
kind of peaceful and quiet there?
nope. Never fired my rifle,
Yeah.
which was fine with me.
Yeah, you did get lucky. Did you realize it at the time that?
Yeah. Well, the worst part of South Korea is the weather. It's brutal. The winter. I did 2 winters over there. It's brutal. It's just so cold. It's just unbelievable. And in the summer they have summer like it is here. It gets really hot, and they have a monsoon season where it rains for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that sounds nasty.
Everything turns to mud. Everything.
But you would do what exactly? Just walk the guard, or what was a typical day for you while you were in Korea?
On patrol?
Yeah.
Well, they'd let us pass the border in between North and South Korea, and we would walk patrols. Yeah.
Just you alone, or with a bunch of you together, or how?
Oh, we went by squad. There was 9 or 10 of us
Yeah.
in a group. We'd walk out there and set up a perimeter and just sit there and watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was our job.
Was it tense and nerve-wracking, or boring?
Sometimes it was, yeah.
Because you saw some people that looked like they were coming across?
A couple of times, but where the MDL is, the dividing line, they wouldn't cross that. They knew better. You know, they wouldn't try to get to South Korea if someone was there.
Mm-hmm. So the U.S. government was concerned that North Korea would send soldiers to Vietnam to help? Is that what that was all about?
No, they just didn't want them infiltrating South Korea.
Oh.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah. There'd been the Korean War there 15 years earlier, I guess.
Yes, correct.
So still some tensions.
We had a lot of families were separated during that war, you know, and they weren't allowed to go back and forth from North Korea to South Korea or South to North. They just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Huh. And your friends, did they get to go there with you, or did they get sent to Vietnam?
No. Bob went to Vietnam, and then Ed and Don both went to Vietnam.
Did they make it back?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
All of us made it back
Yeah.
home.
Well, I bet they saw some things there, though. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you lose some? You must have had some friends that went there and didn't come back, or did you?
Yes, I do. I had a few of them that didn't come back.
That was a really tough time for a lot of people in the country in general. Unpopular war, and
It was horrible.
kids doing their duty and not getting much credit for it back here.
Yeah. The kids, most of the teenagers that were in high school knew they were going to go to Vietnam. You know, it's not a lot to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
But,
And some went so far as to move to Canada. Do you know?
yeah. I don't know anybody that did that, but a lot of people did.
Yeah. I had a neighbor who did that. Went to Canada. His parents were just horrified.
Did he get to come back?
I've never saw him again. I guess he stayed in Canada, maybe.
Yeah, he might have.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a tough time. What did your whole family think about the Vietnam experience? Did you stay in contact with them while you were over there? Or?
Oh, yeah, you write letters, but the longer you're in, the less letters you write. It's not that you don't care, you just don't want to take the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should have written more, but it's all right. I still have letters from my dad and my sisters that I got when I was in South Korea. Look through them, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. What kind of things would they say to you?
Well, Margie just wanted me to come home. She's my youngest sister. She was about 5 at the time. She wrote and said, I just want you to come home. And then me and Jane were really close. You know, she would write to me, just ask me how I was doing, and, you know, if I was okay.
Mm-hmm. Does that break your heart to get a letter from a young sister?
Oh, when you got a letter from home, that was heaven. It really was. It was so nice to get a letter, you know. Or a box of cookies or something.
Yeah. Would the cookies make it all the way over there?
Oh, yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
You got a few of those, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you share them, or you ate the whole box yourself?
Oh, I share them, sure.
Yeah, because you want the
The
cookies.
people that are in your squad are your best friends. They are your family when you're there. You know, there's guys over there that I served with that I'll never forget.
You still stay in touch with some of those guys?
Just one. The rest of them have kind of gone by their wayside.
Yeah.
You know, it's just time goes on and you lose contact.
Mm-hmm. Who's the guy you still stay in contact with?
Jim Gomez, he lives in California.
Yeah.
Me and him were very close over
Yeah.
there.
You see each other every now and then?
No, he's in San Francisco, and in fact, I haven't heard from him probably in 10 years now. It's been a long time. But he's a great guy, just a brother.
Yeah. I imagine once you've been in that kind of setting, even if there's not a lot of gunfire around, it's a bond that will live for a lifetime.
Yes, it is. It does, and it lasts a lifetime. You're right.
Was there anyone in the military, a superior officer or anything that you got a lot of knowledge from, or that you really respected, or that really helped you?
Not really. Your platoon sergeant, you learn to like him because you have to trust him. He's the one that's in charge of what you're doing when you're on patrol, and you better trust him. They were good soldiers, though. They were, E7, E8 sergeants that knew the ropes. They were good guys to know.
Yeah. So you were over there how long?
13 months.
Yeah. It was usually a 1-year hitch and you were out? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, when you got drafted, you had to do 2 years. If you extended your stay in South Korea by 38 days, when you got home, you were out. You didn't have to finish your 2 years. So I was actually only in 19 months. So that's fine.
Were you counting down the days there at the end?
You bet you are.
Trying to stay out of any trouble at all?
Yes.
And so what's that last day like? How do they get you from the lines there back home? What's that like?
What do you mean?
Like your last day, you just pack up the suitcase and hop on another bus and off you go, and that's it?
Pack up your duffel bag, get on a plane, and go home.
Yeah.
You had to go through Seattle, Washington, was where you got discharged. Went through there, and then they put you on a plane, send you home.
Is that like the happiest day of your life?
Oh, pretty much.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait.
I would think. And you weren't injured at all and didn't get a scratch? Or?
No. When you're a 19-year-old kid, you just want to go home.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
When I left St. Louis to go overseas, I'm 19 years old. I got on a plane by myself, went to Seattle, and didn't know a person in the world. And you're lost. You're just totally lost.
I bet.
It's tough.
It's not like you can grab your phone and get on the internet and
we didn't have those.
Figure out where you were.
The phone was on the wall, and you had to put a dime in it.
Yeah. And then later a quarter, which was big.
Exactly.
Yeah, that hurt to go from a dime to a quarter.
Right.
So you come home, and what kind of reception did you get when you got back home?
Oh, we had a hell of a party. All my high school friends and everybody was there. It was really cool. They had the house all decorated, and all my friends were there, and it was just a happy time.
You hear a lot of people saying if they're in the military, it really changes them when they get back. Did it change you or no?
Oh, it definitely changes you. Yeah, you're not a kid anymore.
Yeah. You're ready for just about anything. I suppose the flip side is, the good side is, if you survive it and get through it, your confidence level must go through the roof about what you can do in life.
Right.
So what did you do? What was the next step in your life?
Well, I still had my job at the steel company, but they had shut down, so they furloughed me. I didn't actually have a job. I think I waited 6 months on McLeod Steel, and I went to work in a finance company. That was all wrong. I don't belong in an office.
You had some problems there?
Yeah, I'm not office type. I got a job in a roofing company, which was enlightening.
Yeah.
I did 15 years I worked in a roofing company, and that's tough work. But, I had grown and had children, and 3 little girls, they want to eat every day, 3 times. So you go to work no matter what. You make some money to buy groceries.
They like living indoors, too, don't they?
Yes.
They want a house or something, apartment. Yeah. I suppose there were some days roofing was probably more dangerous than over there in Korea.
Oh, it was bad. And we didn't have safety equipment back then. Nothing.
Yeah.
It was chemicals, pitch, asbestos, everything.
Yeah.
Just wasn't like it is today.
Did you get through it without any major injuries?
Roofing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must have had good balance to be walking up and down roofs.
Yeah. I cut my leg one time, but it was no big deal. That's the only time I ever got injured on the job.
Yeah. So did you know somebody to get that job, or you just apply for it? Or?
Yeah, my dad's friend, one of his Marine buddies, Joe Arnold, he owned the roofing company. And That's how I got started there.
Mm-hmm.
That was tough.
That one still brings back bad memories, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Summertime on a roof, ooh, no good.
Yeah.
I did flat roofing. I didn't do shingling. I was a flat, hot tar roofer.
Yeah.
That's warm.
I bet it could be a St. Louis summer day. You're up
Yes.
there with hot tar.
Yeah, not a breeze blowing.
Wow.
It was tough.
Almost made you miss the office job?
No.
Not that tough.
No.
Well, yeah, that was a hard way to make a living, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
But you stayed with it?
I did it 15 years, and then I got hired on the railroad, in East St. Louis. A friend of mine got me a job there, and I started on the railroad. I did both jobs for a long time because I didn't have enough seniority to work on the railroad every day, enough to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
Then after, 5 or 6 years, went full-time with the railroad. Did 36 years with them, Union Pacific.
Yeah. You must have enjoyed that.
Oh, it was not bad.
What kind of things did you do?
Pardon me?
What kind of things did you do for the
I was a through freight conductor. We'd take trains north, then you go to the motel and you stay there for a day or so until you get a train back. Living in a motel is not fun.
No.
It just gets old.
Yeah.
But it was a good living,
Mm-hmm.
good wages.
So you were actually driving the train. I say driving.
No, the engineer drives it. Conductor's the boss.
You're the boss of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're responsible for whatever's in your train.
Mm-hmm. So what all did you have to know about that train to be qualified to be the boss?
Well, you have to know all the railroad rules, which is, there's a lot of them.
I bet.
And you have to abide by the rules or they'll fire you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not bad.
So you told the engineer what to do, where to go?
Yes. Or if you had cars to set out on line, you would get off, set the cars out, get back on, and
Mm-hmm.
continue on. Or pick up cars, whatever chores there was to do.
Yeah. Did you ever have anything go wrong?
Well, if a train breaks down, the conductor has to fix it, yes.
And how do you go about doing that?
You start walking to see what's wrong.
And then if you find something, you're
Well,
just
most of the
expecting-
time it was an air hose or something. And you'd walk back there and fix it, and get back on, and continue on.
You just had all the equipment there and the tools with you to fix it?
Well, yeah, you would carry a wrench and an air hose with you on the way back because you kind of thought you knew what was wrong,
And you usually did, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that seems like an awfully big responsibility.
It is, and I think about that today, and the money that's on a train, like say an auto rack train. You have 70 carloads of automobiles, and there's 15 on each one. Those cars are $50,000 a piece. It's a lot of money rolling down the road.
Yeah.
It really is.
They're counting on you to get it right.
Yes.
You never had one leave the rails, did you?
Well, we had a few derailments, yeah. that mostly happened in the yard, though. Not online, no. It doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah. Wasn't your fault, though, when it happened in the yard, was it?
We were stopped. No, I'm kidding.
You had your excuse ready to
It
go.
wasn't my fault. It was the truck.
So there's some high pressure there, too. There's some people that want that freight exactly when they want it.
They're watching you, yes.
Yeah. But you were able to handle that in good shape?
Pardon me?
You were able to handle all that in good shape and had a long career?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made it.
Yeah. And now you get the railroad pension?
Yes. Got to retire when I was 60. That was nice.
Yeah.
So.
And you got the veterans benefits on top of that?
Uh-huh.
Probably didn't seem like it was worth it at the time, but now that you're of age when you use it, it's nice to have, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the time you don't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think about retirement when you're that young.
Yeah.
You don't give a damn.
You think you'll never get 65. You'll never be that old.
Right. And all of a sudden you're there. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, you're 75. Talking
Yeah.
about it.
That's what happened.
Here we are. So tell me how you met your wife.
Which one?
Well, let's start with the first one. That'd be a good place to start.
We met in a bar,
Whereabouts?
East St. Louis.
Yeah. Love at first sight type of thing?
Not really. We became friends first,
Yeah.
and then we got married in '74. And we got divorced in '74. Then we got remarried in '75. Stop laughing at me.
Well, I'm not. I'm just interested.
Doug.
What
Doug,
happened?
you can say dumbass if you want to.
No, I won't. I won't judge. Well, what happened that the marriage lasted less than a year? Can I ask that? Is that
I
being
don't
too
really
personal?
remember what went on. Just button heads, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't explain it to you.
But then decided that you made the wrong decision by splitting up.
Well, you don't know at the time. We stayed married 14 years, so which is a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 girls.
Uh-huh. Do you remember how you proposed?
No.
No. Did you go on a honeymoon, maybe?
I think I must have been drunk.
It could have been. You met in a bar. You didn't go on a honeymoon, you said?
No. I had to go to work.
Yeah. What was your first house? Where'd you settle?
First house we lived in O'Fallon. It was a small 2-bedroom house, a starter home. Her parents helped us with a down payment, and we stayed there for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. Then we moved to Belleville.
Mm-hmm. You remember what you paid for that first house?
$19,000, I think.
Yeah.
That won't buy you a bedroom now.
No. And you needed help to afford that.
Yes.
But everyone was kind of in the same boat back then.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, 19,000 is probably a nice house.
It seems like $1 million at the time.
Yeah, oh
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, might as well have been. And your mortgage payment was probably, what, $150?
Or, yeah, probably something like that.
But you were able to pull that off.
We made it.
Yeah. And so then you got divorced and you got remarried again, and then things went well.
Yeah, pretty much.
When did the kids start to come?
We had our first child in '76.
Mm-hmm.
She's my oldest daughter. And the youngest daughter, who's with me today, she's an '83 model.
Okay. And how'd that change your life to be a parent?
A lot. You don't go out as much as you used to, you know. Your social life was going to somebody's house or them coming to your house, you know, running around wasn't in the cards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You start living for them instead of yourself.
Yeah.
Much. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna take care of them kids no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it is, you know.
What kind of father were you?
I was a perfect father.
Perfect.
Couldn't ask for anything more.
Is that what they tell you?
Are you taping this?
Somebody is, yeah. Is that what they tell you, or is that what you tell them?
They'll tell you right now if you ask them.
Yeah, you were the perfect dad.
Sure.
And were you as strict as your dad had been with you?
I wasn't real strict with them, I don't think. No. I really don't think I was strict.
Yeah.
I watched what they did, of course, you know, and made sure they were not screwing up, but they were good kids, all of them.
All daughters, the three daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have to worry about them a little more than if you'd had 3 sons?
Do you have any sons?
Yeah, I got 3.
Mm-hmm. Do you worry about them looking at girls?
Well, not anymore, because they're in the 30s
Well, I don't
now.
mean now. I mean back then. It
Yeah.
was different. Of
Yeah.
course you worry about your daughters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're young kids. They don't know any better.
Yeah. Were they good kids?
Yes, they
Give you
all
a hard
were
time?
good kids, good students, did real well.
Well, that's great. So you had to be proud of that you were able to
Certainly.
raise them the right way.
Yeah.
And so then you got divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And
Got divorced in, I don't remember what year, probably maybe '89.
mm-hmm.
And then I remarried in, I better get this right,
Yeah.
remarried in '93, I think.
Okay. Shortly thereafter.
We have one son.
Mm-hmm. Was that had to be tough on the family though, the divorce?
Well, sure. You breaks your kids' hearts. You know, it really does.
Yeah. How'd you break that to them?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think I just left, and they kind of figured it out.
Is that what it was? Yeah. He's not here again. I guess it's permanent.
Yeah.
So then how did you meet your second wife?
We met in a bar.
Becoming a theme.
Do you see a pattern here?
Yeah.
We met in a bar and dated for a couple of years and decided to get married.
Yeah. You were ready to tackle it again.
Yeah. That one lasted 24 years. I did better.
Yes. Yeah. We did pretty well with both.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. You still stay in contact with the first wife? You still friendly and everything?
Yeah, she's still around.
Yeah. All right.
Second wife, not so much.
Oh, that ended too. Okay. Was that a divorce or?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you hard to live with or what?
I guess I am. It has to be me. It can't be them, right?
Well, you said you were the perfect father. I don't know. It could be someone else's fault.
Doug, I told you, you can call me dumbass. It's okay.
Do you have any regrets looking back on
Not
your
really.
marriages?
No. I wouldn't change much. I wouldn't trade my kids for anything, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they are your life. You know, they'll always be there.
Mm-hmm.
If you need something, they're there.
Yeah. You need at least one of them to take care of you as we get older and
Mm-hmm.
start.
And they do.
troubling
I mean, they call and check on me. They worry about me.
Yeah. Did you have time to do anything away from work and the kids as a young adult? Did you stay active in sports or?
Oh, I played softball for years. We used to do a lot of camping, go on canoe float trips, things like that.
Yeah. Where did you go?
Hoosier River, Missouri,
Mm-hmm.
Black River. That was good times. We'd get, I don't know, 8 or 10 of us together and spend the whole weekend together. Never drank one beer.
No, I wouldn't think you would.
No, hell no.
No. That would almost be unethical.
Yes. Be an insult to your kids.
So you went with the guys. You didn't go with the family. You went with the guys on the camping trips?
No, the whole family
Oh,
went.
the family went.
Yeah, everybody took their family.
Yeah.
We'd have 15 kids running around.
Yeah. Well, that was probably fun.
It was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah. You go on any other trips, family vacations that you remember?
Not when I was married. We didn't really travel anywhere. I think we went to Florida one time when Nicole was probably 3 or 4 years old, maybe 5 years old. That's the only time we ever went anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Too expensive.
Yeah. And you were working all the time anyway.
Right.
And out of town, part of it,
Mm-hmm.
with the train.
Sure.
You think you worked too hard maybe back then? Would you like to maybe have pursued something where you didn't have to work so much?
I don't think so. The way it ended up, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay.
Yeah. You probably liked working too. It sounds like you kind of enjoyed it.
Sometimes I did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on who you work with. If you're with a good engineer, that made your whole trip. You know, because you're going to be with them for 2 or 3 days. It was pretty good. You get really good friends with them also.
Did you work with some bad ones?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
You had to fire them?
Some of them didn't know what they were doing. You know, and you're responsible for it. And and then there's some that you don't like. I mean, that's with everybody. There's people you work with that you just don't like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get caught with them. You're going to be with them for 3 days. You
Well, that would be a really dangerous thing to have an engineer who doesn't know what he's doing, wouldn't it?
It is. It really is.
And it probably happens more often than the public would like to know.
It happens quite a bit, yeah.
Do you hear any stories about things that went terribly bad with the trains?
No, not really.
Somehow it all worked.
Pardon me?
Somehow it all seemed to work out?
Yeah. You would get there.
Mm-hmm. How do you think, just in general, life is different for a kid growing up today than when it was when you grew up in the 50s and 60s?
How do I think it's different for them? I don't know. They have it easier than us, I believe, with the technology, things that they're used to that I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about technology. I'm lucky I can answer my phone.
Have you not kept up with the computer generation?
No. If my computer breaks down, I call one of my kids. They come over and fix it. They will not tell me how they fix it. They say, okay, goodbye.
And they get frustrated with you.
Yes.
You had to teach them how to use a spoon, and now they're frustrated with you because you can't figure out a computer.
Yeah, and I don't think that's fair.
I don't either. I've had the same conversation in my family.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. But did you keep up? You have to run a computer a little bit, right, just to get by now.
Well, I pay my bills on it. That's about it.
Yeah.
But Facebook junk, I don't do that.
Oh.
I don't care what you had for lunch yesterday.
Yeah. You don't need to see a picture of it or anything?
No.
How about my schedule at the gym? Are you interested in that?
Well, that's better.
You're not on dating sites or social media sites or.
No, I don't do any of that.
So what do you do now to stay involved and active?
Whatever I want.
Yeah. And what is that usually?
Right now, it's not much because I'm not physically able to work anymore. I just can't do it. I can't hang in there. So
Yeah.
a lot of resting.
A lot of resting.
Resting, yeah.
Did the job with the train wear you down? Is that what it was?
I don't know, just age.
Yeah.
And 15 years of roofing will take its toll on your body.
I bet.
You know, it just does.
Yeah. So it's more of a physical exertion that kind of wore you down more than any
Yes.
kind of disease or anything?
Yeah.
Other than that, you've been pretty healthy, pretty lucky?
Well, I've had a few operations.
Uh-oh.
Had a quadruple bypass in 2019. Had a brain aneurysm as soon as I got healed up from that. And then I had an aortic aneurysm after I got healed up from that. It's been a tough 5 years.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So did you feel like you were having a heart attack or something? How'd they know that you had heart issues?
I got up one morning, I couldn't hardly move, and I called up my daughter, Neely, and she goes, "Get in the shower, I'm coming to get you." She took me to the hospital, and they found that my heart was clogged up, you know.
So that saved your life, though, that surgery.
Absolutely. The doctor didn't know how my heart was working.
Mm-hmm.
It was that bad a blockage.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Quadruple bypass.
Is that a painful thing when you wake up? Your chest really sore?
No, they keep you pretty full of drugs.
Yeah.
Going home's tough. I mean, you have to really take it easy because they split you open, of course, and it's kind of takes a while to heal.
So that was a tough way to. And you live alone?
At the time, I did, yes.
Yeah. So that's hard to get around the house, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's why I have a big family, and they helped me out. All of them did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I needed something, they'd be there.
Yeah. And then you had a brain aneurysm after that?
Mm-hmm. Now, when the doctor said I should not have lived through it, he said, "That's wrong."
He told you were wrong.
I showed him.
You're just kind of a tough old guy, aren't you?
I used to be, and not so tough now.
And then another health issue after that, after the aneurysm, you said.
I had an aortic aneurysm after that. Doctor said the same thing. Had it burst, I would have been gone.
Huh.
Luckily, they caught it and fixed it, put a stent on it. Been okay since.
Yeah. What did that feel like? Like a stomach ache or what?
No, I never knew it was there. I never felt anything from that. Even after surgery, there was never any pain. You know, it just was there.
Yeah. You just went and got a checkup and they found it? Is that what happened?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a lesson to keep going to the doctor, right?
I'm not going anymore.
You're done.
No, they find stuff. I got so many new parts in me, I ought to be good for 70 more years, shouldn't I?
Yeah, but they're aftermarket parts.
Yeah.
So you don't know what you're
They're
getting.
used. Yeah.
That's kind of what life becomes, isn't it? When you hit a certain age, just day to day, trying to get through it with a smile on your face.
Yes, sir.
But looking back, you've had a long, very active life. You got to be pretty happy with what you've gotten out of it.
Oh, yeah. I have no complaints. I wouldn't trade when I grew up for anything. Grew up in the best time you could ever grow up. Muscle cars, music, drugs. It was all fun.
Now, you said drugs in there.
Oh, pharmaceuticals. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
You didn't dabble at all, did you?
Oh,
As
no.
a young man?
Not me. No.
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 And I know the guys in the military would never take liberties
No, they
like
would
that.
never do that. Ever.
No. Okay, well, maybe they did. It was a pretty good time to grow up, right?
It was.
50s,
It was
60s.
awesome. I mean, it couldn't have been better. Seriously.
60s got kind of crazy there for
We
a
had
while.
simple time, you know. We had everything.
Mm-hmm.
Life was easy.
Yeah. Do you remember where you were when John Kennedy got shot?
I was in 8th grade in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually brought a TV in, which was odd because they didn't do that much. It was 63
3.
3? Yeah. I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah. It kind of seems like that's when the country kind of changed, didn't it?
It sure did.
Yeah. Kind of lost their
People
innocence
got
of the
crazier,
country.
didn't they?
Yeah. People got really nuts.
Well, now you're afraid to go out anymore.
Yeah.
The mass shootings and all these people, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Yeah. What do you think happened to make people so much different now than they were?
That's an
50,
excellent
60?
question. I don't know. Life struggles, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough to make a living now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That house that you bought for $19,000 is probably $190,000 today or,
Oh, yeah.
or more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And while people make a bigger salary, they don't make that much more of a salary. They,
Yeah.
more, but not enough to keep up with that.
Yeah. Houses are just out of sight.
Yeah. But you still want to live in one.
Well, it's kind of comfortable, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not going to go back and do it any other way. Well, what kind of message would you want to give to your kids and your grandkids who are going to watch this someday and wonder what you were like?
Just keep doing what you're doing. You're all wonderful kids, grandkids. I'm proud of all of you. And I hope you keep doing what you're doing because you're doing it right.
How would you want them to remember you?
Just fun. Just make them laugh.
Yeah.
And they do laugh at me.
Are they laughing with you or
Maybe
at
they're laughing near me.
What do you do to make them laugh?
Anything. I'll do anything to make them laugh. I have no boundaries.
Oh. Well, that's probably what keeps you young, right?
Yes. Nothing's off limits, Doug.
Like what kind of things have you done to make a person laugh?
Oh, hell, I don't remember. Let's go get a beer and I'll show you.
Seems like when you go get a beer, you wind up getting married.
I know. I wish I quit doing that.
Yeah. It's probably costing you quite a bit.
Yeah.
Unless you got a really good lawyer, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, what would you say would have been the best moment of your life?
The best moment
The best
of my
moment
life?
or the best thing that ever happened to you in your life?
Probably having children. That was life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was really awesome.
You remember being in the waiting room when that first one came?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is definitely life-changing. You know, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's probably the happiest moment of your life.
Yeah, I would think. Maybe it slowed you down a little bit. You went from just kind of doing whatever you wanted to do, whatever you needed to do.
Oh, yeah, it slows you down, you bet.
Yeah. And you become a father, and you take on a whole different identity for yourself, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be responsible, and I'm not real good at that.
No, that can be difficult. Was there anything in your life you still want to do? You got a bucket list to
No, not really.
do?
Had to give up my motorcycle last year because of my health. I loved riding motorcycles. I rode them for 50 years. And there's no more fun than going out with your friends and riding all day on a beautiful summer day. It's cool, but had to give it up.
Because of balance issues or just...
Yeah, balance and just don't trust myself anymore.
Yeah. Where are some of the places you went on your motorcycle?
Oh, went to Sturgis. Rode to New Mexico one time, to Albuquerque. Where else did we go? And just a lot of local things. Country roads.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful days.
It
You
seems
ever
like it'd be tough to get on an interstate and go 75, 80 miles an hour.
It is.
Because you got to stay focused there, right? There's no looking at your phone while you're
Right.
riding a motorcycle.
Right. And have a phone.
Oh, that's right. You have any close calls on the motorcycle ever?
No, never had an accident. Not really. I don't know. Riding all day on the interstate's kind of boring. I would rather do local stuff. You know, riding in the mountains. I've ridden the mountains of Colorado 3 or 4 times, and that is majestic. I mean, it's just beautiful. When you're on a motorcycle, you can see really well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your range of vision is much better. It's fun.
Yeah. Did your doctor tell you should stop, or did you come to that conclusion
No,
yourself?
that was me.
Yeah. That's kind of a hard moment, probably, though, isn't it?
Oh, I hated it. Hated it.
It's one of those moments where you got to admit that, well, I'm not as young as I used to be. And,
Right. You admit that you're giving up.
yeah. But you did it nonetheless. You had
I had to do it. It was getting unsafe.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason to take that chance and put that on your children. You know.
You don't have to make much of a mistake before you're not with us anymore on a motorcycle.
That's correct.
Yeah. You still drive a car, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Right. You doing okay there? Or are you crashing into folks?
No, that's fine. Driving's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So you stay active enough to still enjoy your life, though, right? You're still
Oh, yeah.
doing
Yeah,
well.
still have a social life.
Was there anything about your life that maybe your kids and grandkids don't know that you would like to share with them? Anything that
I'm
you've
not
done?
I'm not telling them
These
that.
are all secrets.
All secret. They don't need to know that.
So there are some things, but they're not going to find them out.
Yes. Do you want them to be ashamed of me?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I can't imagine you did anything that would embarrass yourself or them.
Right.
And if you did and got away with it, which you clearly did, you're not going to let them know about it now.
Nope. I'm free.
Okay, I got you. Was there a question I should ask you about yourself that I haven't? Have I missed something?
No, I don't think so. Nah, I don't think so.
You have a last word or something for your family when they plop this into a computer?
The last
20,
word?
30 years from now? Yeah, something that you would leave them with?
Yeah. I love all of you, and I hope you miss me.
Well, I'm sure they will.
Every time they shoot at me.
Oh, they're not going to be shooting at you. You really lived a fascinating life to have gone through the Vietnam era. And
I've had a
survived
good
that.
time, Doug. I really have. I've had a good life. I cannot complain.
Yeah, a productive life. You took some jobs that a lot of people wouldn't want, that a
Right.
lot of people wouldn't take today, but you made that work for you and your family. So
Yeah.
you got to
Why
be
does-
proud looking back on what you did.
No. Those kids want to eat every day. You'll do what you got to do.
Yeah,
You know, it wasn't easy, but I made it.
yeah. Well, that's what you're proud of, right?
Yes.
Should be. Well, it's been fascinating talking with you.
Nice talking to you.